Presenting Astra Gazette No. 8, the screen magazine of the Royal Air Force. Battersea Park and up the pole with acrobats of international fame. Two girls in a flat spin 100 feet up with a motorcyclist getting nowhere flat out. Even the funfair seems tame compared with Fritzi and Ruth and Alan Johansson, their ringmaster from Sweden. What we're watching is really the success story of three black sheep who preferred airborne careers to their pens. It just goes to show how things can go to a girl's head when she turns against the advice of Mama. But although it's the girls who took the wrong turning, it's Alan who has to face the most dangerous part of the act. Watch him loop the loop. While Ruth gets unwound, it's good to reflect that they depend on a trustworthy machine. For it's a British-built bike, 125cc, that made this festival wheel go round. Here is the most colourful comedy act in present-day sport. The Harlem Globetrotters, idolized by 20 million basketball fans in the USA. They clown, they juggle, they fool. But last year in Europe, they played 73 games in 9 different countries and lost only 1. Now, matched against a team of white athletes, the Boston Whirlwinds, they show us a trick or two. Comedy doesn't start until the points pile up. It's 2 points for a goal. Now watch number 40. It's a goal by Marcus Haynes, the team's Stanley Matthews. Now back on the defense. Sparks fly off the audience at these lightning thrusts. Keep your eye on the ball and on Rookie Brown, who's 6'4" and a 400-pound-a-month star. They fall for his passes in a big way. Marcus Haynes again. He'd be good in a sea lion act. 12 points up, and the Globetrotters now force the play. Ball bouncing is legitimate dribbling in this American version of the game. Number 50 is Goose Tatum, a clown with the longest arms in the sport. He rakes in £7,000 a year from a team which grossed $1 million last season. Yes, sir, basketball's on the up and up. A painted ship on a painted sea. 15 years old, and she looks as new as she did on the day she was launched. Yes, it's the Queen Mary, which can cross the Atlantic in under 4 days. Match her against this lifelike model built by Charles Hampshire, a seagoing engineer. It's one of 40 exhibits aboard the sloop Wellington, designed to show how sailors use their spare time at sea. Here's one that will never get lit up. The skill and patience which goes into these miniature ships is what you'd expect from the men of the sea. This series of models is the work of R.H. Biggs, second officer aboard the British Prince, who has conjured perfection into the infinitely small. Stepping the mast would be easier in this full-rigged ship were it not for the rum jar in which it's preserved. The Honourable Company of Master Mariners have lent their headquarters to house these exhibits. The penguins were carved from the teeth of a sperm whale, an exquisite piece of craftsmanship, and since we started with the QM, we'll end with something from the QE, a masterpiece in wood carving by Captain Cove, the Cunard Commodore. One way or another, the R.A.F. are ready to take up anything that flies. When Flight Sergeant Kavanagh first waggled his handlebars at the streamlining of arrows, he little thought he was starting a new craze. But now the Filton Archers have been officially recognized by the Air Minister, the first R.A.F. team to use the weapons with which those other few saved England in days before jet fighters were born. Today, the 3 rings of the rondel make way for the 5 of the Archer's mark. It's 9 for a bull. Archers call it a gold. The ladies are married to warrant officers who've been in the service for over 25 years. So nice when wives, too, can shoot a line. Not an Irk in Filton ever handled a longbow before the beginning of this year. Now, after hard practice, they can hit targets which make them feel thoroughly at home. Here, beneath the shadow of a modern age, the deadly missiles of the past are loosed. Already the Filton Archers have made their mark in the Somerset County Championships at Taunton. Now their target is the Olympic Games at Melbourne in 1956. These men cherish the same traditions which inspired their ancestors at Agincourt. jackknife, the pile of unanswered letters, remember? They're transfixed to the mantelpiece of a first-floor room in Baker Street, a room haunted by memories of the 1890s, heavy with the fumes of tobacco from a shop no man has ever seen. Black shag is stored in the Persian slipper. Consider the case history of the violin. The address is 221B Baker Street, where live the shades of Dr. Watson and the man who solved the code of the dancing men, Sherlock Holmes. On the desk of Conan Doyle, his creator, stands a likeness of the one woman in the detective's life, Irene Adler. It was she who outwitted him. The scandal in Bohemia, remember? The bullet hole pattern shot by Holmes in the wall is but one of 1,000 details of this lifelike reproduction of the great detective's sitting room. Top hat and deerstalker, stethoscope, cape. And in front of the window, the lifelike bust placed there by Holmes as a trap for Colonel Moran. Not an object is included which could not be referred to by a quotation from his casebook. It is Marylebon's contribution to the half-century celebrations. It's a triumph of reconstruction by Michael Waite. A world of the 90s where the aroma of black shag and the shadows cast by a Victorian oil lamp bring the ghost of Sherlock Holmes strangely, strangely to life. Of all the hair-raising thrills that have come from the East, few can top those of sweet Sui Cheng. Groomed by her husband, Cheng Da-si, she joins Billy Smart's circus with her partner in climb. Beware the hook that is baited with a woman's hair, thus warned Confucius. Now Erna Chong adds to the hair of suspense. The lives of two daughters of China literally hang by a hair's breadth as they soar over the sawdust. 6 years of unending practice have gone into their act. Watched by the inscrutable Cheng Da-si, they give us the Chinese version of Swing Sam Swing. On the sands of Shell Bay near Bournemouth, lovely Moi Dawn gives a lesson in charm and allure. They're learning how to pose for a fashion photograph, and Margaret, the model, has reached the pin-up class. Here is the perfect setting for a mannequin course, a frame worthy of its picture. A picture which owes its gloss to the perfection of their art, and to which each adds her own subtle feminine charm. Grace and balance and flexibility of arms and wrists, these are the arts they learn from Tony, their ballet mistress. Womanly arts, which add warmth and life to a modelling technique which can too often be cold and aloof, are the basis of what these sunny South Coast mannequins are taught. Who wouldn't be a beachcomber on a beach like this? But seriously, this is just another ballet movement, which teaches the girls how to recline naturally and without straining for effect. It's a typical pose for the modelling of swimsuits, and so far as we're concerned, we'd buy the lot. Think they'll make the grade? Not deportment alone, but makeup, hairstyles, and the use of hands and eyes. These are only 4 of the 21 subjects they have to master before dawn lets them loose on the fashion world. When they've developed all their charms, they'll be far too good to work as mannequins. They'll be parading in their own wedding gowns if the men get half a chance.